Good morning, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Current events. Okay, Super Bowl, Giants. But, you know, they were talking about a great game. It was an okay game. I don't really think it was that great, but, you know, it's an opinion. Madonna at halftime? I don't know. I think they should have had Madonna and Lady Gaga. That would have been more fun. You know, Super Bowl in February, season's just too long. We don't need wild cards anymore, but, you know, it's all about money, all about the revenue. So, it is what it is. Moving on. Let's see, Supreme Court's going to hear the Arizona Senate Bill 1070, you know, that has to do with immigration and enforcement. Basically, what we have is a turf war. See, the feds are trying to say, you know, that's our job. You can't do our job. But, you know, Arizona's saying, you're not doing your job, so we got to do it. But in the meantime, nothing's getting done. You know, business as usual. As I like to say, government in action. That's 2 words, government in action. Not 3 words, government in action. Okay, moving on. Unemployment. You know, the unemployment numbers, you know, was it over 8%? Well, see, the unemployment numbers, it's kind of like gas prices. Remember when gas was $1 and then it went up and then it went back down and it went up to 2 and then all of a sudden, you know, $2, that was expensive. But when it went back down to $1.50, it seemed cheap. Wait a minute, it was $1 was cheap. But then remember when gas prices went up to $3? And then it came back down to $2.50. Oh, $2.50 was cheap. But wait a minute, $2 was expensive. You know, gas prices hit over 4 in some places. Then they came back down to like $3.50, $3.25. All of a sudden now that's cheap. Well, see, same thing with unemployment. You know, it was double digits, and now it's at 8%. So Obama's beating his chest trying to make you think he did something. He didn't do anything. There's still a lot of people unemployed. And that brings us to Mitt Romney. You know, he says he's not worried about the very poor. Well, let's see. I was doing some, you know, thumbnail calculations, and it seems to me, if you want to use and believe the government numbers, about 1 in 7 people are on food stamps. 1 out of 7 on food stamps in the United States of America in the 21st century. What's wrong with that picture? You know, the funny thing about the economy is, you know, depending on where you live, you go out there, you see the people in shopping malls. I was out at the Walmart this weekend. Parking lot was packed. I mean, packed. You know, I saw a couple guys in there dragging out them big 60-inch color TVs. I guess they wanted to set it up for the Super Bowl. But, so, I'm just wondering, you know, I guess the economy, it's relative. If you don't have a job and you're very poor, it's bad. But, you know, if you're making money and you got money in the bank and your bills are getting paid, it's not too bad. Well, let's move on once again. You know what? Tea Party. You really don't hear much about Tea Party in the news anymore. Why is that? Same thing with Occupy. You know, I guess it wasn't in D.C. They rousted, you know, the last few Occupy people there, got rid of them, you know, move them away. But the news really isn't covering it, you know. See, the news tells you what they want you to hear, and that's about it. Let's see. Also, one other item, I guess Obama didn't show up in court down in Georgia, so they're thinking about not putting his name on the ballot because he has to prove he's a citizen. So, you know, some people are saying, oh, you know, that's just a bunch of nonsense, but, you know, bottom line is, it doesn't matter if you're the president or you're one of those very poor. The law is the law. And in the United States of America, nobody's supposed to be above the law. So, wake up, America. Smell the hypocrisy.